Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of part 3 of the Baddies East Reunion, Janisha and Nene end up asking Smiley what her intentions were for coming to the reunion. And she made sure to let them know really quickly that the reason why she came to the reunion is because she wants her chain back from Mariah Lynn. Now, Mariah Lynn started saying that she doesn't have Smiley's chain with her, and so Smiley ended up standing up and Mariah Lynn ran up and the two of them started fighting. Now, I will say that security was in the way when Smiley and Mariah Lynn were fighting, so it was hard to see who got the better of who in the fight. But because Mariah Lynn ended up on the floor, I'm gonna say that Smiley is the one who took over that fight, even though she was fighting with a really messed up hand. And after the fight was broken up by security, Mariah Lynn started saying that all Smiley does is pull hair. But my thing is, I'm really confused at what Mariah Lynn wants when she fights these people, because basically everybody on this season is bigger than her except for maybe Anna. So anybody who would have fought her, she would have claimed that the only reason why they were going after her is because she was small. So to me, Smiley would have been damned if she did and damned if she didn't, because if she would have went after Mariah Lynn the way that she probably could, because Mariah Lynn claims that Smiley is so much bigger than her and she would have really beat Mariah Lynn up, then Mariah would have said that the only reason why she was doing that is because she was small. And then if, you know, Smiley would have did what she actually did do, which is just grab Mariah Lynn by the hair and drag her to the floor, then all of a sudden Mariah Lynn starts saying that Smiley can't fight and that all she does is pull hair. Like, what do you want from people? Because Mariah Lynn is the type of person who runs her mouth a lot and then tries to use the fact that she's small as a crutch against people. Like, she tries to make it seem like the only reason why they want to go after her is because she's small and they feel like they can beat her. And she says that about everybody who tries to go after her. And I'm not a fan of Smiley at all, but at the same time, I do think that it was wrong that Roelly sat up there and was yelling that Smiley was faking the injury to her hand. How was she faking the injury to her hand when you can clearly see that her hand is bleeding when she got done from fighting Mariah Lynn? And she came on stage with it all wrapped up, and clearly you can see all the blood that was in her trailer. And then Mariah Lynn tried to basically imply that Smiley was afraid of her because she was saying that the reason why Smiley messed up her hand was on purpose because she didn't want to have to come on stage and fight. And look, I understand that people think that Smiley fakes everything, but I highly doubt she messed up her hand on purpose because she didn't want to come on stage and fight Mariah. She was in a fit of rage because obviously she didn't think that she was going to get into it with Biggie. Biggie came out of nowhere coming at her really disrespectfully and smacked her in the face when we know for a fact that Biggie wouldn't have did that to anybody else on that show, but she chose to do it to Smiley on purpose. And so when she smacked Smiley in the face, Smiley was trying to get over there to fight Biggie, but security got Biggie out of there really quickly. And obviously if somebody hits you like that out of nowhere, you're gonna get really pissed off. And because security will not let you fight them, you're gonna punch and hit anything that's around you because you're really pissed off. Now, do I think that Smiley should have done that? No, because she ended up messing herself up in the end. But for people to just say that she's faking it or that she did it on purpose because she didn't want to fight Mariah, that doesn't make any sense. And look, don't get me wrong, I really do like Nene, but I don't understand why she was the host of this reunion. I just don't feel like it's the right show for her to be hosting. And then on top of that, you can tell that she did not watch the show, so she didn't understand why certain beefs were happening. She just didn't understand what was going on. I feel like Zeus needs to do better when they're picking a host. They need to find somebody who actually sat and watched the season, and I feel like they don't really do that. Every season, they just pick who they think is going to be the best person to do it, and it really falls short. Now, once everybody kind of calms down a little bit, they start asking where ET is because obviously most of the girls on the stage have an issue with ET and they wanted her to come back on stage so that they can address the issues that they have with her. And when ET did come back on stage, that's when Biggie decided that she was going to address the issues that she has with her. And look, Biggie was right that ET had no reason to come for her in the first place because ET yelling in Biggie's face this season and pushing her down on the couch was the star of their beef. And packing Biggie's belongings was wrong to me, but at the same time, Biggie was getting on my nerves because she was throwing the word bully around a lot. And to me, she acts like a bully sometimes because she wants to fit in. And let me clarify why I said this before the Biggie fans start coming for me, but look, Biggie will go against somebody if she knows the rest of the girls do not like them. That's exactly what she did with Smiley this season, because Biggie had more of a reason to have an issue with Anna this season than she did to have a reason with Smiley, because Smiley never did anything to her this season. Smiley never joined in with the other girls when they talked about Biggie or when they tried to gang up on Biggie, but yet Biggie seemed to have the biggest issue with Smiley. She was checking Smiley, she was talking to her crazy, pointing in her face, and then she smacked her in the face during this reunion. And the only reason why Biggie did this when it came to Smiley is because she knows the other girls don't like Smiley, because she would never do that to any of the other girls on this show, even the ones who probably deserved it because they treated her some type of way. So I don't think that she has a right to call E.T. a bully. Even though E.T. can be a bully, I feel like she doesn't have a right to call E.T. a bully because she has bully tendencies as well. I think a lot of the girls on this season had a lot of bully tendencies. But right in the middle of Biggie trying to have a conversation with E.T. about how she feels like E.T. did her wrong this season, Sapphire gets annoyed and she cuts the whole conversation off, and she stands up and she wants to fight E.T. Sapphire ends up hopping out of her seat and she takes water and she splashes it in E.T.'s face, and she says that she's doing the same thing that E.T. did to Sukihana during the season. But look, I don't look at Sapphire favorably because she's going after E.T. now for Sukihana, because the time for her to show and prove that she was a real friend to Sukihana and had her back would have been to do it when the situation was actually happening. She should have went after E.T. when E.T. threw the water in Sukihana's face when she was having a back and forth with Roelly. Now she's trying to do it and prove herself at the reunion, which doesn't make any sense to me, because Sapphire was still cool with E.T. even after E.T. threw the water in Sukihana's face, because okay, even if she didn't want to fight E.T., she didn't have to be E.T.'s friend during the season after they went after Sukihana the way that they did, but she still chose to be cool with them, and now all of a sudden she wants to hop up and jump on the E.T. hate train. And when Sapphire and E.T. were getting ready to fight, Sapphire noticed that E.T. had a ring on her finger, and she did not want to fight her with the ring on her finger because obviously it will do more damage to your face, but she did it to Mariah Lynn, so I don't understand why she's saying that E.T. needs to take her ring off. But E.T. was tired of waiting to fight, so she just started taking off on Sapphire, and look, she beat up Sapphire. I'm sorry, Sapphire definitely lost that fight, and I'm surprised that E.T. even had the energy to win a fight, because she got into it with Tsiki, and Tsiki obviously won that fight with her, even though she held her own, and I did give her props for holding her own against Tsiki, because I don't think any of the other girls would have been able to, except for maybe Sky. But as tired as E.T. looks, she still was able to win that fight against Sapphire. Sapphire looked real sad during that fight, and I don't understand why Sukihana was trying to gas her up and say that she won her fight or that she did her big one, because they end up fighting again, and that's exactly what Sukihana ends up saying. But what I will say is I don't like that every single time E.T. tried to fight somebody one-on-one, a lot of the other girls will jump up and try to get over to her to try to fight her too. Let people fight one-on-one. Even though I'm not a fan of E.T. this season, I don't think that people should be trying to jump her. I just don't think that's right. And when everybody calms down, Nene does end up asking E.T. why she attacked Natalie, and E.T. starts saying that the reason why she went after Natalie is because one of the guys on the team, I guess he's a stylist or something, he works for one of the girls on the show, and apparently he told her that Natalie was setting her up to get jumped, and the reason why she went after Natalie is because he said that, and Natalie is denying this completely. And I honestly do believe Natalie. I don't think that she set up E.T. at all. I don't think she had a problem with E.T. and I don't think that she did anything to her. I believe Natalie this time, and a lot of the times I don't believe Natalie, because I still have the same image of her that I had on Bad Girls Club when we first saw her on season 4. I feel like she's still the same person, but when it comes to this E.T. situation, I really don't believe that she set this girl up. Listen, I was not a fan of Roelly this season, but she was right when she told Biggie that she needed to be quiet because she was talking too much and she wouldn't let anybody speak, because Roelly wasn't the only person that was getting annoyed by this. I can tell that Nene was really annoyed by her too, because anytime anybody was trying to speak so that you can actually get a dialogue going during the reunion like you're supposed to have, she just kept yelling and talking over people. It was just really annoying. I don't really like to compare this show to the Bad Girls Club, but I am going to do it in this situation, because the reason why the reunions for the Bad Girls Club was so good is because it wasn't just about fighting. There was also dialogue. We got to hear what the issues really were, what happened that we did not get to see, what happened after the show ended. Those are the things that we want to hear during the reunion. We don't just want people screaming over each other the entire time. That doesn't make a good reunion, and you can tell that Nene will probably not come back to host another reunion because you can't get a word in edgewise. And I'm not just saying it was Biggie, because Anna was kind of being annoying too. I think she was a little bit drunk, and I think she admitted that during the reunion, but her and Biggie were doing entirely too much. And Biggie kept trying to address E.T., but it's like, if you want to fight the girl, just run up on her and fight her. I don't understand what all the talking is about. And you can tell that E.T. is not a talker. She just wants to get the fighting over with. But Biggie was just doing a lot of talking, and every single time E.T. told her to run up, she wouldn't do it. I do think that E.T. was being a little bit dramatic about the guy that she said hit her on the top of the head when they were at the club. That was supposed to be somebody that was there for Biggie, because I don't think that Biggie set that up, which is what Biggie was trying to say to E.T. during this reunion. And I don't think she really got hit like that. I mean, I did see the guy put his hand up, but I don't know if he actually ended up hitting E.T. Now, I think it was wrong for him to approach E.T. in the first place, because he's a man and he needs to stay out of women's business and not of women's faces. I don't think that that was right, and he should stay out of it. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, how did this guy even know that E.T. and Biggie had any beef? Now, at one point during this reunion, I thought that Roelly and Sapphire was going to end up getting into it, because when Roelly was saying that Natalie was her friend and that Scotty was her friend, but that she's also friends with E.T., she did end up getting questioned by Sapphire, because Sapphire said that if Natalie is her friend, then why did she let E.T. attack her? And look, Roelly made sure to clarify to Sapphire that she did tell E.T. that she was wrong for going after Natalie and that she did not agree with it. But who is Sapphire to question Roelly about whether or not she's being a true friend by stopping somebody from attacking Natalie, when she didn't stop anybody from attacking Sukihana either? Like, she's the wrong person to say this about anybody. She didn't decide to try to defend Sukihana until it was too late, and she basically tried to defend her at the reunion, and then she tried to defend her against Mariah Lynn. But when E.T. and Roelly were ganging up on Sukihana, she did nothing about it. Now, Roelly ended up leaving after this, which I don't think that she should have done, because if her and E.T. were supposed to be friends, I don't think she should have left knowing that everybody is after E.T. I mean, don't get me wrong, Roelly definitely had E.T.'s back during the reunion, because she was stopping people from trying to jump her, because she was about to get jumped a couple of times. I think Tsiki was trying to jump her at one point. Anna kept trying to jump her. And also, I think Biggie was trying to jump her too at some points. And so look, I feel like Roelly was definitely doing her job and stopping people from trying to jump E.T. But once she left, everybody had a field day. Because once it was time for E.T. to give her final words for the reunion, she ended up addressing Anna, Biggie, and Mariah Lynn, telling them that if they want to fight, they have to fight her now because she's getting ready to leave. And that's when Mariah Lynn decided to step up to try to fight E.T. And they do end up fighting, but to me, it was more of a scuffle than a fight, because security broke it up pretty quickly. I will say that Mariah Lynn probably would have ended up losing. I will give her props for stepping up to E.T. anyway, but I think she would have ended up losing that fight. But this is why I said that Roelly shouldn't have left until the reunion was completely over, because as soon as E.T. went to go fight Mariah Lynn, all the people that wanted to jump her came running over there like they were going to do something to her. It was literally damn near everybody. And so look, I feel like Roelly should have stayed to have E.T.'s back with everybody trying to jump her, because I really do think that if she was there, that probably wouldn't have went down the way that it did. Because I'm not a fan of E.T., but I'm not going to be okay with jumping either. Let the girl fight one-on-one. I mean, she's not afraid to fight anybody one-on-one, so I don't understand why they feel the need to try to jump the girl in the first place. And after the fight between Mariah and E.T. was broken up and everybody tried to jump her, that's when Sapphire wanted to fight E.T. again. And look, I don't understand why she wanted to fight her again, because she got beat up the first time, but okay, she wanted to fight her again this time. And I will say, Sapphire did do better the second time, but she still did not win the fight. To me, E.T. still won. And she threw a kick at E.T. and I don't understand why. Like, what's up with people with this kicking shit? Natalie does it all the time. DJ Sky did it when she fought Anna, and now Sapphire is doing it. Like, what is up with this kicking during fighting? And I don't even know why Sukihana was trying to gas up Sapphire and say that she beat up E.T. because she absolutely did not. And now all of a sudden Biggie wants to try to fight E.T., but the thing about it is that she won't run up. If you're the one that wants to fight, you run up. I don't understand why Biggie always sits there and waits for somebody to run up on her. It's completely fine if Biggie is not a fighter. She doesn't have to be, and I don't understand why she's trying to be if she knows that she's not, because she kept saying it during the reunion that she's not a fighter. I mean, maybe she tries to fight even though she's not a fighter to try to appeal to her fans, but I don't think she should, because she made herself look like a fool during this reunion. And while E.T. and Biggie were having a back and forth, Suki ends up throwing water in E.T.'s face, and that's when Anna comes out of nowhere and she starts hitting E.T. from the side. And look, I understand that E.T. was sneaking people during this season, so I'm not saying that nobody should have snuck her, but it definitely made Anna look a little bit weak. And I'm sorry, I was dying laughing just like E.T. was when E.T. and Biggie were about to fight, but E.T. and Biggie never got to fight because Biggie ended up falling forward. I thought that shit was funny as hell. It's like, girl, get it together. And after the fight that almost happened between E.T. and Biggie, that's when Tsiki said that she wants to fight her, but their fight never happened. And then E.T. is trying to get to Anna because she wants to fight Anna because Anna snuck her. But that never ends up happening because Anna never goes back near E.T. again. And then on top of that, security would not let E.T. go over there to where she was. Now, at this point, Natalie and E.T. are having a back and forth because Natalie is still very pissed off at the fact that E.T. attacked her, but E.T. feels like Natalie needs to take it up with the guy who told her that Natalie was the one setting her up. So because this guy is a part of Scotty's team, like he helped her get dressed and ready, that's when Natalie starts going off on Scotty a little bit because she's the one who brought him around. But Scotty is confused because she said that this guy is not a part of her team, so she doesn't understand why Natalie is going off on her, but Natalie apparently said that she's going to get this guy beat up, so I really don't know what's going to happen with that situation, but it is really messy. And Natalie was basically saying that she does not want E.T. back for another season and that she doesn't like her, but look, after watching how E.T. handled herself on this reunion, because everybody was basically against her and she had to fight all these people on her own, and she stood 10 toes down and she fought everybody by herself and still stayed the entire reunion and kept coming back on stage, even though she fought Tsiki, because not a lot of people can beat Tsiki, and she did not beat Tsiki, but she held her own in that fight against Tsiki, and I don't think that anybody else would have been able to, let alone get up and fight again, fight more people after that fight with Tsiki, so I have to give her some respect for that. And at the very end of this reunion, Mariah Lynn and Smiley end up deciding to cut their beef off and end it because it's just getting really old now at this point. I feel like Mariah should just give her chain back and they can just drop the beef and be done with it. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies East. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.